Hi everyone, and welcome to this presentation, the Soul Awakening Academy. And this is a presentation on chakra coaching. So this is a new coaching system that I've put together. It's part of the Soul Awakening method, and it uses the 7 steps to spiritual alchemy model. Now, the 7 steps is a concept, a model that I've put together, which relates to the development of your chakra system and how your chakra system can become underdeveloped due to emotional negativity, let's put it bluntly. And the reason from our emotional negativity can come from our early imprinting. It can even come through our DNA, it can be ancestral, it can happen to us in utero, etc. Either way, it's to help you peel back the layers of human conditioning that you've taken on. I believe that we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, and that part of our experience is to decondition ourselves, decondition the imprinting that was placed upon us, which has caused us these emotions that can block and thwart our development, so we can self-actualize or spiritual actualize or awaken to our soul's potential, however you want to word it. So I'm going to share with you something that I did with my students at the Soul Awakening Academy. So this was a foundation workshop. It was really like an introduction to the Soul Awakening method. And I do train practitioners in this, and I've created a ready-made coaching model. If you are a coach or a therapist and you want to use this with your clients, you can purchase the digital product and use it with your clients. And if you don't have any experience, you can go through the coaching program, which teaches you how to coach, and you can use this at the end. Okay, so let me talk you through. Okay, so what will you learn? So one of the things that we went into depth with the students was about archetypes, archetypal energy, and how they relate to your chakra system. So you can look at some of the great philosophical teachers, spiritual teachers, Caroline Myss, Carl Jung, who was probably one of the world's most famous psychologists. Carl Jung, he was really into symbolism. He was a great advocate of the tarot, astrology, and archetypes, and he was the one who first coined the word archetypes: shadow, the anima and animus, the male and female energy in us all. And before he obviously coined that term, these concepts were already around. If you look at the symbol of the yin and the yang, the male and the female, one can't exist without the other, and they're both intertwined but have completely different elements and characteristics and attributes to each other. Well, the yin and the yang mimics the anima and animus, the male and the female psyche, which reside in us all. So as females, we have a male psyche, and as males, we have a female part to our psyche as well. So we talked about the chakras, and everybody who comes on the course, regardless of where you're starting from, if you're starting from a position of being a Reiki practitioner or a therapist who works in energy healing and knows about the chakra system, regardless of where you're starting from, a complete beginner or an advanced practitioner, you get given a free ebook that I've created, an introduction to your chakra system, that guides you through what each chakra represents in the body. So for the purpose of this, we have 7 main chakras that run from spine to the top of the head, and they sit over an important gland, an endocrine gland. And why they're so sensitive is they kind of cross over. It's like a network of fibers, nerve endings that cross over and form a vortex, a wheel, chakra Sanskrit for wheel, of energy that filters in and out information from our environment into our physical body. Lots of research done to say that all we are is mainly energy, and everything that our physical body is the densest energy. And physically we feel things, but firstly it's interpreted by our sensory body, if you like, our spiritual body or emotional body. It then filters into our physical system, and we interpret it through our thoughts, feelings, beliefs. So our 5 senses really, sight, touch, sound, smell, and our thoughts, which trigger the feelings, which are the hormone release in the body. we always talk about our spiritual journey so far. So from my perspective, we're here having a human experience. This is my belief system with the experiences that I've had. So I only ever speak my truth, and everybody else's truth is completely different to mine, or we may share similarities. But from my perspective, and the reason I do what I do, is I believe that we are here having a human experience, and that we have incarnated to share our spiritual gifts, to release our full potential in the world, to help other people. And I help train people who feel the same way so they can help ignite or awaken the potential in other people through the training courses, practitioner courses I offer. So this is a 7 steps model, and why did I create it? So the 7 steps here mimics the relationship we have with each chakra, the 7 main chakras. So the root, beginning at the top here, survival consciousness, the root is the first chakra that develops, let's say, between the ages of 0 to 7, and that will govern our survival instincts. So it also governs our feelings of safety, trust, how we get our needs met. This is all lies in the root chakra. So one of the great questions that we ask when we're coaching through the root chakra is, if you were to describe currently how your foundations feel in life, how do they feel? Do they feel solid, secure, or shaky, sinking even? And we might do some visual exercises to say, if you're the architect, if you were the architect of your life and you got the chance to build your own home, describe in as much detail as possible how that home would look, feel. So we're getting an overview of what the client wants to have in their life, wants to experience. Everything is about experience in life. And most of us have a vision in mind of the world that we're trying to create for ourselves. But if our foundations, if our root chakra is unbalanced, unsafe, insecure, built on sand, then anything we try and achieve, we will have a sabotage behavior come in and ruin it for us, basically. So we look at archetypes, and we tell a story about our archetype that might be lying in the root chakra. So let's say, for instance, I'll share my own personal story with you. Between the ages of 0 to 7, my foundations were shaky. They were destroyed. So when I was born, I was adopted quite soon after, and I was placed in an institution. So automatically, my survival instincts about how I perceive the world, are my safety and security needs being met from that early age of imprinting? Then no, they weren't. I was told at, say, 4 years of age that I was adopted. So the people who were bringing me up, they weren't my real parents. Again, my foundations were stripped away. So my survival consciousness, or my root chakra, would have been underdeveloped. And so they were the major kind of traumatic experiences that I had in those first early imprinting stages. I then obviously started school at 5, and again, something happened where my trust and my survival needs were not met. So that early imprinting stage for me was very, very underdeveloped. So my survival instincts would have kicked in, my protection mode would have kicked in, and I would have perceived the world not to be safe. I would have taken that consciousness into my next chakra, which is the chakra that governs relationships, the solar plexus, which is just underneath the navel. And I would have taken that into that level of consciousness. So I've taken my unmet needs. So the archetype here would have been, let's say, the wounded child or the abandoned child. And I would have taken that wounding, that archetype, and I would have written, in workshop, we write a story about our archetype, or what are the unmet needs of this character. If you could go back and change this character so it transformed, what archetype would it step into, and how would we change its circumstances so it played out and led a better story than the one it currently did. So it puts us in control of our own destiny then. Because just because these happen to you early on, we take them into our adulthood and we relate on this level. We still carry these subconscious beliefs so deep within our psyche, we don't know they're playing out until we do some deep work like this. So we take our archetype, the wounded child, out into our relationship. So the relationship consciousness is here in the orange, governs the sacral chakra color. And this is where we know ourselves in the eyes of other people. So this is where we form a sense of belonging. What group do we belong to? Do we feel like we fit in with the family? Or do we seek out another group so we can identify with them and feel ourselves, feel like we fit into this group? That can be, that need to approval can be met in unhealthy ways, rebellion, drugs, etc. If we don't fit in with our tribe for whatever reason, we will seek out a tribe where we do feel we fit in. So crime can happen here. This is through the age of 7 to 14. So body shame as well, sexuality, intimacy, creativity, abundance, emotional expression. This all happens in this sacral chakra between the ages of 7 to 14. So how were you as a child? How did you express yourself emotionally? Were you shut down? Were you repressed? Did you find coping mechanisms to suppress your emotions? I know I did. Did you rebel and found a tribe that you fitted in with? I did. And, you know, I used to stuff down my emotions with food. That's where I got my comfort. And I totally rebelled, and I left home at 11, and I was put into the care system to fend for myself, which I did. Okay, so you take all of this into your solar plexus. This is the third chakra, 14 to 21. This is where you're going out in the world to make a name for yourself. This is about power. This is about your identity. Who am I? Who do I want to be? This is where our masks come in, our personas come in. This is where our confidence or self-esteem lies. So thinking about it, we taking all that energy, all those experiences, all the beliefs we formed about the experiences we had into our sacral chakra, which is above the belly button, which is your solar plexus. It's when you take a criticism or you're scared or nervous, you feel that gut feeling. This is where the solar plexus chakra is. So you radiate this out into the world and you try and your best to survive and get by. This is where our biggest persona will play out, the mask that we portray to the world. Quite often, you know, we wear these masks for survival needs, but deep down, that's not who we truly are. And the point of this soul awakening method is to help you get to the core of who you are. Now, going back to the relationship consciousness, the archetype there that could play out for me would be the abandoned child, or somebody who runs a theme of abandonment because of that early survival consciousness imprinting. So then my identity archetype would have been the boss, let's say, because I formed a persona of power and I created a business and I was very materially successful, and that was just masking all the pain and the insecurities and the low self-esteem I was feeling inside. So then we get to the love consciousness, the heart chakra. That really is where things can turn around for you if you're willing to do the work and open your heart. This is where we either close off to love or we open ourselves up to love, and only you will know when you're doing that because you can feel it. We then move up into our throat chakra, which is all about speaking our truth. This is where our creation, our manifestation comes in, because the spoken word, the thought, the inner dialogue, they all create our reality. All these vibrations, energy, go out into the matrix of energy and come back as a thing. Then we go up into the third eye, which is the wisdom consciousness, which is where you tune into your psychic sense, when your inner visions. And then we go up to the crown, which is the soul awakening consciousness. So this is the power center of connection to your source, your higher self, however you like to call it. Okay, so this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is a psychological behavior model, and you can kind of see how it fits in with the chakra system. So the bottom part of the triangle here is your root, safety, then it moves up, and then it goes to self-actualization. Well, I've taken this further, so it goes up to spiritual actualization. And every feeling we have can be measured on a frequency scale. The closer we are to source, our connection through our crown chakra, through feeling the feelings of enlightenment, peace and joy, that's the closer we are to our natural state, the natural source, the natural energy around us. And when we're out of alignment through feelings of guilt, shame, then we are really disconnected to our source or our true self. So I've discussed archetypes and chakras. So this is a brief overview of the chakras, from root, the red, to crown here. And you can see the different elements. The root is the earth. So when we feel like we're too much in our head, we are ungrounded. So a way to get grounded is to go and walk in nature, because this is the earth element. Its color is red. And then we move on to the sacral chakra, which is the relationship consciousness. This is water, and its color is orange. And then we go up to the solar plexus, which is the identity consciousness. And this is fire. This is the fire in our belly. This is where our motivation or lack of comes from, and it's yellow in color. We then go to the heart, which is pink or green. And the element is air. And then we go to the throat, and the element is sound or vibration, and it's blue. The third eye is indigo, it's light. And then the crown chakra, which is connection to your higher self, your guides, etc., is violet at the top of the head, and the element is spirit. Okay, so these are just some of the symbols it stands for. Tribe, your family, for your root. Your emotions for your sacral, power for your solar plexus, love for your heart. And then we go transformation, expression for the throat, transformation, and intuition. So this is talking about the root chakra. The root chakra represents or governs our feelings of survival. It keeps us connected to the body, our environment. Our environment can either make us feel connected or disconnected. If you're in a really toxic environment, it can push you further to escape through the head. And it's our roots to the earth. It's where our family, our tribe, where we get our support from those around us, and our feelings of belonging. Now, if you're somebody who feels that they have to fend for themselves, yeah, I understand that. And what we do on the course is we help to activate the highest expression of the archetypes or energy in the root chakra, which are the emperor and the empress, or the good father and the good mother. And we do a deep visualization technique which helps you activate these two energies within you. The sacral chakra is about relationships, sensuality and pleasure, your creativity, your emotions, your manifesting. This is where a lot of emotional eating and addictions come in. The solar plexus is your personal power, self-worth, motivation, your drive, your ego, your identity. And your heart is about relationships. It's about your ability to give and receive love, unconditional love, empathy for others, compassion, non-judgment, and nurture. Okay, so this is where then we would begin our coaching workbook. So what I would suggest is, if you want to come on the foundation course or the next introductory course I will be running, or you want to download the digital product for you to use with your clients, then go to my academy, soulawakeningacademy.co.uk, and you can find me on social media under Soul Awakening Academy as well. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all soon. Take care for now.